In a small, rural village, Hoa lived with her grandmother in a modest, crumbling house. Her life revolved around school, where she was often a target of ridicule. Despite her intelligence and hard work, she faced constant mockery from her classmates, particularly from Lan, the daughter of a wealthy businessman. Lan's taunts often echoed in the schoolyard, where she would gather her friends and point at Hoa, sneering about her worn-out clothes and lack of expensive gadgets. Every day, Hoa walked to school with her head held high, determined not to let the teasing get to her. She would often see the other students huddled together, flaunting their new phones and designer bags, and she couldn't help but feel a pang of envy. Yet, deep down, she knew that her worth was not defined by material possessions. Her grandmother, a wise woman, often reminded her, true wealth lies in kindness and perseverance, not in riches. In the classroom, Hoa excelled in her studies, often topping the exams. Her teachers recognized her potential and encouraged her, but the social divide made it hard for her to fit in. While Lan and her friends spent their free time gossiping and laughing, Hoa preferred to stay in the library, diving into books that transported her to different worlds. One fateful day, the school announced a science fair. Excitement buzzed through the air as students began brainstorming innovative projects. Hoa saw this as an opportunity to prove herself. She decided to create a sustainable energy project using simple materials that she could find around her village. As she worked tirelessly after school, gathering materials and researching, she felt a sense of purpose that overshadowed the negativity around her. Meanwhile, Lan, always eager to one-up Hoa, decided to develop a project that showcased the latest technology, with her father's resources backing her. She quickly gathered a team of her friends, ensuring that they had all the tools and materials they could possibly need. The competition was fierce, and the rivalry between Lan and Hoa intensified. As the science fair approached, Lan's jealousy grew. She became more brazen in her insults, claiming that Hoa would never stand a chance against her. "What do you even know about technology? You can't even afford a proper calculator," she sneered one afternoon. But instead of retaliating, Hoa took a deep breath and focused on her project. She knew that hard work would always triumph over arrogance. The day of the science fair finally arrived, and the school buzzed with excitement. Students displayed their projects proudly, and parents flocked to see their children's hard work. Hoa set up her display, her heart racing. She explained her project to anyone who stopped by, demonstrating how her simple contraption could harness solar energy. As judges walked around, Lan's project caught their attention. It was sleek, high-tech, and boasted impressive features, but deep down, the judges were looking for innovation and practicality. When they reached Hoa's project, they were intrigued by her passion and the simplicity of her solution. She spoke with such conviction that they could see the potential for real-world applications. After hours of presentations, the judges deliberated. When the time came for the winners to be announced, the atmosphere was electric. And the first prize for the science fair goes to Hoa. The room erupted in applause, but Hoa could hardly believe it. She looked over at Lan, who stood frozen, a mix of shock and anger on her face. In that moment, something shifted. The same students who had mocked Hoa began to approach her, offering congratulations. Lan, feeling threatened, made one last attempt to undermine her, but the damage was done. The students saw the true value of hard work and innovation over mere wealth. As the months passed, the dynamic at school began to change. More students reached out to Hoa, eager to learn from her. She began to form new friendships, and even Lan found herself isolated. Eventually, Lan's arrogance caught up with her, and she struggled in her studies. Seeing the change in her former adversary, Hoa decided to extend a hand. One day, she approached Lan in the library, where the latter sat, looking dejected. "I know you're going through a tough time," Hoa said gently. "If you want, I can help you study." Lan looked up, surprise flickering across her face. For the first time, she felt vulnerable and realized that maybe she had underestimated Hoa all along. Gradually, they started working together, and in those quiet moments, they discovered common ground. Lan opened up about her insecurities, while Hoa shared her dreams of attending a prestigious university. As their friendship blossomed, Lon began to change her ways. She learned the value of humility and hard work, while Hoa found herself more confident and assertive. Their journey was not without challenges. Some of Lan's former friends were reluctant to accept this new dynamic, but the bond between the two girls grew stronger. Together, they organized study groups, ensuring that no one felt left out, and began to advocate for kindness and respect among their classmates. Eventually, as graduation approached, both girls had transformed. Hoa received several scholarship offers, her hard work paying off. Lan, inspired by her friend, applied to universities as well, determined to forge her own path, separate from her family's wealth. At the graduation ceremony, as they stood side by side, they reflected on their journeys. They realized that true friendship transcends social status and that it's possible to rise above adversity together. The once silent strength of Hoa had not only changed her life but had also altered the course of Lan's, teaching them both the profound impact of compassion and perseverance. As they tossed their caps into the air, the world ahead looked bright, full of possibilities. No longer defined by their past, they were ready to embrace the future, hand in hand, proving that wealth is not just about money, but about the richness of the heart. As Hoa and Lan stepped into the next chapter of their lives, they were filled with a mixture of excitement and anxiety. With graduation behind them, the reality of university life loomed ahead. They had both received scholarships to the same prestigious university in the city, which marked the beginning of a new adventure. Moving to the city was a significant transition for Hoa. The bustling streets, towering buildings, and fast-paced lifestyle were a stark contrast to her quiet village. Yet, with Lan by her side, she felt a sense of belonging. They navigated their new environment together, attending orientation sessions and meeting other students from diverse backgrounds. At university, the workload was intense. Hoa immersed herself in her studies, driven by her ambition to make a difference in the world through sustainable energy. Lan, having discovered a newfound passion for environmental science, decided to major in the same field. Their friendship deepened as they supported each other through late-night study sessions, shared meals, and the occasional coffee break at the campus cafe. As the semester progressed, they encountered challenges that tested their resolve. Hoa struggled with the rigorous coursework, often feeling overwhelmed. During one particularly tough week, she found herself on the verge of tears after receiving a lower-than-expected grade on an important project. Sensing her distress, Lan sat down with her in their dorm room, offering encouragement and practical tips for improvement. "Remember, Hoa, it's okay to ask for help," Lan said, her tone soothing. "We're in this together. Let's go to the professor's office hours and see what we can learn from it." With Lan's support, Hoa gained the confidence to seek help when she needed it. They became study partners, often bouncing ideas off each other and celebrating small victories together. Their bond transformed into a strong partnership, and as they grew academically, they also became more involved in campus life. Inspired by their shared passion for sustainability, they decided to start an environmental club on campus. They aimed to raise awareness about ecological issues and promote sustainable practices among their peers. The club quickly gained traction, attracting students from various disciplines who were eager to contribute their ideas and efforts. Together, they organized workshops on recycling, hosted guest speakers, and even initiated a campus-wide cleanup event. The positive feedback they received fueled their motivation, and they found fulfillment in working towards a common goal. They also forged new friendships with club members, creating a supportive community that celebrated their diverse backgrounds and experiences. However, not everything was smooth sailing. The pressure of university life often weighed heavily on them. During midterms, the stress levels skyrocketed. One evening, as they sat in their dorm room surrounded by textbooks and notes, Lan suddenly slammed her book shut. "I can't take this anymore. I feel like I'm drowning," she exclaimed. Hoa paused, sensing her friend's frustration. "Let's take a break," she suggested. They stepped outside, taking a stroll around the campus grounds. The fresh air and starry sky provided a much-needed respite. As they walked, they talked about their fears and aspirations, realizing that they both needed to remind each other of their strengths. Do you remember how we started this journey? Hoa asked, smiling. We've come so far already. We just need to keep pushing forward. Lon nodded, a glimmer of hope returning to her eyes. You're right. We can't let stress hold us back. Let's tackle this together. With renewed determination, they returned to their studies, implementing better time management strategies and even scheduling regular breaks to avoid burnout. Their bond grew stronger as they navigated the ups and downs of university life together, cheering each other on through late nights and early mornings. As the semester came to a close, they both received recognition for their hard work. Hoa was invited to present her research on renewable energy at a national conference, while Lan's leadership in the environmental club earned her a student award. Their achievements filled them with pride, but they knew they couldn't have done it without each other's support. The summer break offered a chance for reflection. They decided to volunteer at a local nonprofit organization focused on environmental conservation. Their hands-on experience allowed them to apply their knowledge in real-world scenarios, further solidifying their commitment to sustainability. They spent weekends planting trees, conducting workshops for local schools, and participating in community cleanups, finding joy in making a tangible difference. As they prepared to return for their second year, both girls felt a sense of accomplishment. They had grown not only as students but as individuals. The challenges they faced had strengthened their resilience and deepened their understanding of the world around them. Back at university, the second year brought new adventures. They took on more challenging courses, delving deeper into environmental science. They also began to explore internships, eager to gain practical experience in their field. With each new opportunity, they found themselves more passionate about their cause. Lon discovered an internship with a well-known environmental organization that focused on policy change. She was thrilled at the prospect of contributing to initiatives that aimed to influence legislation for a greener future. Hoa, on the other hand, landed a research assistant position, working alongside a professor on innovative solar energy solutions. The workload increased, but their bond remained unbreakable. They often met for coffee after class to share their experiences and insights, discussing how they could integrate their learnings into their environmental club initiatives. Their friendship became a source of strength, allowing them to balance their personal and academic lives. As the semester progressed, they organized a major campus event called Green Week. They invited speakers, hosted workshops, and created awareness campaigns, all culminating in a community festival that celebrated sustainability. The event was a resounding success, drawing in students, faculty, and local residents. It reinforced their belief that education and community involvement could spark meaningful change. However, as they celebrated their achievements, they faced a new challenge. Tensions arose within the club as differing opinions on direction and priorities emerged. Some members felt the focus should shift toward larger projects, while others believed in maintaining grassroots efforts. Frustration grew, and the club meetings became contentious. Seeing their friends at odds hurt Hoa and Lon. They understood the importance of collaboration but struggled to mediate the differing viewpoints. One evening, after a particularly heated meeting, they found solace in their favorite coffee shop. "We can't let this tear us apart," Lon said, her voice heavy with concern. "This club means so much to all of us." "I know," Hoa replied thoughtfully. "What if we organized a team-building retreat? It could help us reconnect and clarify our goals." Lan's eyes lit up. "That's a great idea. We could focus on communication and unity. Let's propose it at the next meeting." With renewed purpose, they presented the idea to the club, and to their relief, it was met with enthusiasm. They organized a weekend retreat at a nearby campsite, complete with activities designed to foster teamwork and collaboration. The experience brought everyone closer, allowing members to voice their thoughts and work through their differences. By the end of the retreat, the club emerged stronger than ever. They established a shared vision and decided to blend their approaches, balancing grassroots efforts with larger initiatives. It was a turning point that reminded everyone of the power of unity and understanding. As the years progressed, Hoa and Lon continued to excel in their studies and extracurricular activities. They graduated with honors, their journey marked by growth, resilience, and unwavering friendship. They reflected on the challenges they faced and how they transformed from rivals into allies. As they prepared to step into the professional world, they made a pact to continue working together in the environmental sector. With their complementary strengths, they envisioned creating a sustainable consultancy that would help businesses adopt eco-friendly practices. After graduation, they spent the summer gaining experience through internships, networking, and developing their business plan. Their shared vision drove them forward, and the bond they had forged became a foundation for their future endeavors. Eventually, they launched their consultancy, focusing on practical solutions for sustainability. They quickly gained a reputation for their innovative approaches and commitment to making a positive impact. Through their work, they inspired others to embrace environmental responsibility, and their friendship flourished as they navigated the ups and downs of entrepreneurship together. As they looked back on their journey from the small village to the bustling city, they marveled at how far they had come. The laughter, tears, and struggles had shaped them into the women they were today, strong, determined, and ready to change the world. In the years that followed, their consultancy grew, and they expanded their reach, collaborating with businesses and communities across the country. They knew that their friendship, forged in adversity, was the bedrock of their success. As they stood side by side at conferences, workshops, and community events, they felt a deep sense of gratitude for the journey they had undertaken together. Their story became an inspiration for others, demonstrating that resilience, empathy, and collaboration could overcome even the most challenging circumstances. The girl who had once been mocked for her poverty had transformed into a leader, using her experiences to uplift others and advocate for change. As they continued their work, they never forgot their roots. They established scholarships for underprivileged students who wanted to pursue environmental studies, ensuring that others would have the opportunities they had fought for. Their mission to empower the next generation became a driving force in their lives. Years later, as they stood on a stage addressing a group of young aspiring environmentalists, Hoa looked at Lon and smiled. "We started this journey together, and I can't imagine doing it with anyone else. Let's keep inspiring others to believe in themselves, just like we did." Lon nodded, her eyes shining with pride. "Together, we've proven that no matter where you come from, you can achieve greatness. Let's continue to lift others as we climb." And so, their journey continued, two friends united by purpose, forever committed to making the world a better place, one step at a time. They had come full circle, from being outcasts in a classroom to leaders in their field, proving that true strength lies in friendship, resilience, and a shared vision for a brighter future. As Hoa and Lan's consultancy thrived, they found themselves increasingly invited to speak at various conferences and events. Their story of overcoming adversity resonated with many, and they often shared their journey to inspire others. Each time they spoke, they reflected on how far they had come and the lessons they had learned along the way. One day, after a particularly inspiring talk at a university, a young woman approached them. "I loved your story," she said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "I've always wanted to work in environmental science, but I come from a small town like you did. How can I get started?" Hoa smiled, recognizing the familiar glint of hope in the young woman's eyes. "It starts with believing in yourself," she said. "Seek out opportunities, don't be afraid to ask questions, and surround yourself with supportive people." Lon added, "And remember, every small step counts. Just like we did, take the initiative to create change in your community, and don't hesitate to reach out for help when you need it." Inspired by their words, the young woman thanked them and promised to take their advice to heart. As she walked away, Lon turned to Hoa. "It feels amazing to be able to give back, doesn't it? We're making a difference, one person at a time." Over the years, Hoa and Lon continued to mentor students and young professionals, establishing a mentorship program through their consultancy. They paired experienced professionals with eager learners, fostering a community of support and growth. The program quickly gained traction, and they found joy in watching their mentor flourish. Their consultancy also evolved, taking on more significant projects that involved working with local governments and businesses to implement sustainable practices. they collaborated on initiatives such as reducing carbon footprints, improving waste management, and promoting renewable energy sources. The impact of their work spread far beyond what they had initially imagined. However, with success came new challenges. As their consultancy grew, so did the demands on their time. They found themselves juggling multiple projects and responsibilities, often leading to late nights and stressful days. Despite their shared commitment, there were moments of tension as they navigated the complexities of running a growing business. One evening, after a long day filled with back-to-back meetings, Lon burst into their office, clearly frustrated. "We need to talk about the workload. I feel like we're constantly playing catch-up, and it's affecting our creativity," she said. Hoa took a deep breath, sensing the strain in her friend's voice. "I've been feeling it too. Maybe we need to reassess our priorities and delegate some tasks. We can't do it all ourselves." They sat down and discussed their concerns, realizing that while their passion fueled their work, they needed to implement better systems to manage their time effectively. They decided to hire a few more staff members to help with administrative tasks and project management, allowing them to focus on the bigger picture. With the new team members in place, they found a renewed sense of balance. They could brainstorm and innovate without being bogged down by daily tasks. This shift not only improved their productivity but also reignited their creativity, allowing them to explore new ideas and initiatives. One of their most ambitious projects was a community-based solar energy program aimed at providing renewable energy solutions to low-income households. They worked closely with local governments and organizations to secure funding and resources, ensuring that the project was sustainable and accessible. As they launched the initiative, they held workshops to educate residents about solar energy and its benefits. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and Hoa and Lon felt a deep sense of fulfillment watching families embrace the changes. The project became a model for similar initiatives in other communities, further cementing their reputation as leaders in the environmental sector. However, amidst their success, they remained grounded in their values. They often returned to their hometown, sharing their journey with students at local schools. Their visits were met with excitement, and they made it a point to connect with young people who might feel like they were in similar positions as they once were. During one of these visits, Hoa spoke to a group of high school students about the importance of pursuing their dreams, no matter the obstacles. "You have the power to create change," she encouraged. "Don't let your circumstances define you. Use them as fuel to push forward." Later that day, as they drove through the familiar streets of their village, Lon turned to Hoa. "I still can't believe how much we've achieved. It's important to remember where we came from," she said. "I agree. It keeps us humble and reminds us of our purpose," Hoa replied, her heart swelling with pride for their journey. As they continued their work, they began to receive recognition beyond their community. They were invited to participate in international conferences and collaborate with global organizations on environmental issues. This exposure opened up new avenues for growth, and they found themselves in discussions with world leaders about sustainability initiatives. Despite the whirlwind of success, Hoa and Lon made it a priority to maintain their friendship. They set aside time each month for Friendship Days, where they would explore new places, enjoy activities they loved, or simply relax and reminisce about their journey. These moments helped them reconnect and ground themselves amid the demands of their professional lives. One day, during one of their Friendship Days, they decided to visit a local park. As they walked along the path, they admired the beauty of nature surrounding them. "You know, this reminds me of why we started all of this," Lon said, taking a deep breath of fresh air. "It's about preserving spaces like this for future generations." "Exactly," Hoa replied. "It's about creating a sustainable world where everyone can thrive. We're just getting started." As the years passed, their consultancy grew into a renowned organization that championed environmental sustainability on a global scale. They expanded their initiatives, focusing on issues like climate change, biodiversity conservation, and environmental justice. They worked with marginalized communities, ensuring that their voices were heard in discussions about policy and sustainability. With every project, they stayed true to their roots, constantly striving to uplift others and create opportunities for those who felt voiceless. Their efforts sparked a movement, inspiring young activists around the world to take action and advocate for change. Eventually, they were invited to participate in a global summit on climate change, where they had the opportunity to present their work and share their vision for a sustainable future. Standing on stage before an audience of world leaders, activists, and experts, Hoa felt a surge of pride. "We stand here today not just as representatives of our consultancy but as advocates for all those who dream of a better world," she began, her voice steady. "Our journey has taught us that every voice matters, and together, we can create lasting change." As they received a standing ovation, Lon squeezed Hoa's hand, a silent acknowledgement of how far they had come. They had transformed from two girls facing ridicule into powerful advocates for sustainability, proving that determination, friendship, and compassion could overcome any challenge. After the summit, they returned home, reflecting on their journey. Their experiences had shaped them, but the bond they had built remained the foundation of their success. They realized that their work was far from over, and they were excited to continue their mission. As they looked to the future, they envisioned a world where sustainability was not just an ideal but a way of life. They were committed to educating the next generation and fostering a sense of responsibility towards the planet. With every project, every student mentored, and every community impacted, they knew they were contributing to a brighter future. Their story was not just one of triumph over adversity, it was a testament to the power of friendship and the belief that anyone, regardless of their background, could create change. Together, Hoa and Lon stood ready to face the challenges ahead, united in their purpose and driven by a shared dream. As they ventured into the next phase of their lives, they carried with them the lessons learned along their journey. The girl who had once been ridiculed in school had become a leader, a mentor, and a beacon of hope for countless others. And through it all, she had a steadfast friend by her side, proving that together, they could change the world, one step at a time. As Hoa and Lon moved into the next chapter of their lives, they faced an exciting yet daunting new challenge, the expansion of their consultancy into international markets. Their success had attracted attention from organizations in various countries, eager to implement sustainable practices inspired by their model. With each new opportunity, they felt the weight of responsibility grow heavier. One day, while planning their strategy for international outreach, Lon said, "We need to ensure that our values translate well into different cultures. It's important that we adapt without compromising our mission." Hoa nodded in agreement. "Absolutely. We have to listen and learn from local communities to understand their unique challenges and perspectives. It's not just about implementing our ideas but about collaborating and creating tailored solutions." They decided to embark on a research trip to several countries where they had received invitations to collaborate on sustainability projects. Their first stop was a coastal town in Southeast Asia, grappling with the effects of climate change and rising sea levels. Upon arrival, they were welcomed by local leaders who shared their concerns and aspirations. During their meetings, Hoa and Lon listened intently, taking notes and asking questions. The local fishermen spoke of dwindling fish stocks, while farmers described how unpredictable weather patterns were affecting their crops. It became clear that a holistic approach was necessary, one that integrated economic stability with environmental sustainability. Inspired by the stories they heard, Hoa and Lon proposed a community-driven project that focused on sustainable fishing practices and regenerative agriculture. They facilitated workshops to educate residents about eco-friendly methods and the importance of preserving their natural resources. By involving the community in the decision-making process, they fostered a sense of ownership and pride in their environment. The project flourished, and within months, the community saw tangible benefits. Fish stocks began to recover, and farmers reported improved yields. The success of this initiative opened doors for Hoa and Lon, and they were invited to present their findings at a regional sustainability conference. Standing on stage, they shared their experiences and the importance of community engagement in sustainability efforts. Their message resonated with attendees, sparking conversations about how similar approaches could be adapted to other regions. After the conference, they traveled to Europe, where they collaborated with a non-profit organization focused on renewable energy. the European market presented different challenges, particularly in navigating regulations and political landscapes. Hoa and Lan immersed themselves in discussions about policy changes and the importance of advocacy. They participated in several roundtable discussions, sharing their insights on grassroots movements and the power of community-driven initiatives. It was a new experience, but they thrived in the environment, gaining respect from established leaders in the field. Back home, their work began to influence local policy. Inspired by their success abroad, Hoa and Lan launched a campaign advocating for sustainable practices at the national level. They organized rallies, engaged with policymakers, and rallied support from citizens. Their efforts culminated in a proposal for a national sustainability initiative that aimed to promote renewable energy and reduce carbon emissions. As they worked tirelessly on this initiative, they faced pushback from various industries resistant to change. However, their commitment never wavered. They utilized their platform to educate the public about the long-term benefits of sustainability, emphasizing the potential for job creation and economic growth in green sectors. Amidst the challenges, they remained grounded, often returning to their hometown to recharge and reconnect with their roots. During one such visit, they organized a community event, inviting locals to share their stories and ideas about sustainability. The turnout was overwhelming, and it reaffirmed their belief in the power of community engagement. During the event, an elderly man approached Hoa and Lan. "I remember when you two were just girls in school, and now look at you," he said, his voice filled with pride. "You've brought hope to so many people." Emotional, Hoa responded, "We wouldn't be here without the support of our community. It's all about working together." The man smiled, nodding in agreement. "Keep doing what you're doing. You're making a difference." With renewed motivation, they returned to their advocacy work with vigor. The proposal for the National Sustainability Initiative gained traction, leading to a series of hearings where they testified about the importance of sustainable practices. Their passionate pleas and compelling evidence resonated with lawmakers, gradually swaying opinions. After months of hard work, they received the news they had been waiting for: the initiative had passed. The government committed to investing in renewable energy, establishing incentives for businesses to adopt sustainable practices, and implementing educational programs for schools. In the aftermath, Hoa and Lan celebrated their victory with their team, reflecting on the journey that had brought them to this moment. They had fought tirelessly for change, and their dedication had finally paid off. However, they understood that this was just the beginning. The success of the initiative opened doors for further projects, and they set their sights on expanding their consultancy even more. They envisioned creating a network of sustainability advocates across the globe, empowering individuals and communities to take action. As they traveled to different countries to support grassroots movements, they found inspiration in every corner of the world. They collaborated with indigenous communities in South America, learning about their sustainable practices and integrating them into their own initiatives. They met with young activists in Africa who were passionate about fighting for climate justice, providing mentorship and support. Through these collaborations, Hoa and Lan began to document their experiences, capturing the stories of those they met along the way. They envisioned writing a book that would not only share their journey but also amplify the voices of the communities they worked with. They wanted to highlight the collective efforts of individuals striving for a sustainable future. As they sat down to write, they found that reflecting on their experiences brought them closer together. They shared laughter, tears, and moments of vulnerability as they recounted the challenges they had faced. Writing became a cathartic process, reminding them of their purpose and the lives they were touching. When the book was finally published, it received acclaim and quickly became a bestseller. It resonated with readers around the world, inspiring them to take action in their own communities. Hoa and Lan embarked on a book tour, sharing their message of hope and empowerment. At each event, they witnessed the power of storytelling. People approached them with tears in their eyes, sharing how their words had sparked a desire to make a difference. It reinforced their belief that change starts at the grassroots level and that everyone has the potential to contribute to a better world. As their influence grew, they began to receive invitations to participate in international panels and discussions on climate action. They collaborated with scientists, policymakers, and activists, contributing their insights and advocating for collective action. Amidst the whirlwind of activity, Hoa and Lan remained committed to their original mission, to empower others and foster sustainable practices. They established scholarships for students pursuing environmental studies and created internships within their consultancy to provide hands-on experience for young professionals. One evening, after a long day of meetings, they found themselves reflecting on their journey over dinner. "Can you believe how far we've come?" Lan said, a smile spreading across her face. "From being bullied in school to being recognized on the global stage." Hoa chuckled softly. "It's incredible. I'm so grateful for the path we've walked together. I don't think I could have done any of this without you." Lan nodded, her eyes shining with warmth. "And I feel the same way. We've built something amazing, and I can't wait to see where it leads us next." As they raised their glasses in a toast to their friendship and future, they felt a sense of fulfillment and purpose. They knew that their journey was far from over. The world was still facing immense challenges, but they were determined to keep fighting for a sustainable future, inspiring others to join them along the way. With their hearts full of hope, Hoa and Lan embraced the challenges ahead, ready to make an even greater impact and continue their mission of creating a better world for generations to come. They understood that true change comes from collaboration, compassion, and the belief that together, anything is possible. As Hoa and Lan's influence expanded, they found themselves at the forefront of a global movement for sustainability. Their book had ignited conversations worldwide, leading to opportunities to collaborate with influential organizations and leaders in environmental advocacy. They were invited to participate in global summits, where they could share their insights and learn from others in the field. At one such summit held in a vibrant city known for its innovative approaches to urban sustainability, they were introduced to a diverse group of activists, scientists, and policymakers. The energy in the room was palpable, with discussions ranging from renewable energy solutions to grassroots activism. Hoa and Lan were eager to share their experiences and learn from the collective knowledge present. During a panel discussion, Hoa spoke passionately about their community-driven projects. Sustainability isn't just about technology, it's about people. We must engage local communities in the process and empower them to take charge of their futures. Lan followed up with a story from their recent project in Southeast Asia, highlighting how the Fishermen's Cooperative had not only improved fish stocks but also strengthened community bonds. "When people feel ownership over their resources, they're more likely to protect them," she said, her voice resonating with conviction. Their words sparked a lively debate among the attendees, leading to collaborations that would extend beyond the summit. They connected with organizations focused on policy change, pledging to work together to create frameworks that support local sustainability initiatives. After the summit, they were approached by a documentary filmmaker interested in capturing their journey. "I believe your story can inspire many more people to get involved in sustainability," he said, his enthusiasm evident. Hoa and Lan exchanged glances, realizing that this could be a powerful way to amplify their message even further. Excited about the opportunity, they agreed to participate in the documentary. Over the next few months, they traveled to various locations, showcasing their work and the communities they collaborated with. The filmmakers captured their interactions, the heartfelt stories of local advocates, and the impact of their initiatives. As they worked on the documentary, they also continued to expand their consultancy. They hired a diverse team, including young activists and experts from various fields. This infusion of talent brought fresh perspectives and innovative ideas, enabling them to tackle complex challenges more effectively. One of their new team members, a passionate advocate for urban sustainability, proposed a project aimed at transforming urban spaces into green areas. "Cities are often concrete jungles, but we have the opportunity to create pockets of nature that can benefit both the environment and the community," she suggested. Intrigued, Hoa and Lan organized a workshop with local government officials, urban planners, and community members to brainstorm ideas. The result was an initiative to create urban green spaces, community gardens, rooftop gardens, and parks that would enhance biodiversity, improve air quality, and provide recreational spaces for residents. As the project took shape, they faced challenges from various stakeholders. Some were concerned about the costs involved, while others were skeptical about community participation. Hoa and Lan knew that they needed to demonstrate the tangible benefits of green spaces to win over skeptics. They organized community events to engage residents, highlighting the importance of green spaces through workshops on gardening, biodiversity, and wellness. As families began to see the positive impact on their neighborhoods, support for the initiative grew. Local businesses also joined in, sponsoring events and contributing resources. With increased community involvement, the project gained momentum, leading to the transformation of vacant lots into vibrant community gardens. The initiative fostered a sense of pride among residents, who actively participated in planting, maintaining, and enjoying their new green spaces. As the documentary crew captured the unfolding story, the positive impact on the community became evident. The gardens not only provided fresh produce but also created gathering places for families and friends, fostering social connections and resilience. The film's release generated buzz, drawing attention to their work and inspiring others to implement similar initiatives in their communities. Hoa and Lan received invitations to speak at various conferences, sharing their story and encouraging others to prioritize community engagement in sustainability efforts. During one of these conferences, a young man approached them, visibly excited. "Your documentary inspired me to start a community garden in my neighborhood. It's amazing how a small idea can grow into something so impactful," he said, beaming with pride. Hoa felt a rush of gratitude. That's exactly what we aim for. Change often starts at the grassroots level, and it's incredible to see others taking action. As they continued their journey, they realized that their mission was evolving. While their focus had initially been on advocacy and consultancy, they now found themselves as catalysts for change, empowering individuals to take action in their own communities. Encouraged by their success, they decided to launch a platform where activists and community leaders could share resources, best practices, and success stories. The platform would serve as a hub for collaboration, fostering a global network of changemakers dedicated to sustainability. As they developed the platform, they engaged with their growing community through social media, sharing insights, resources, and inspiring stories. The response was overwhelming, with individuals and organizations eager to connect and collaborate. Their platform quickly gained traction, with thousands of members joining from around the world. They hosted virtual workshops, webinars, and forums, creating spaces for dialogue and collaboration. Hoa and Lan facilitated discussions on various topics, including renewable energy, waste reduction, and social justice within the sustainability movement. Through their platform, they also highlighted the voices of underrepresented communities, amplifying their stories and advocating for equitable solutions. They believed that sustainability must encompass social justice, recognizing the interconnectedness of environmental and social issues. As the platform flourished, they received feedback from users expressing how it had transformed their understanding of sustainability. Many shared how the resources and connections had empowered them to initiate projects in their own communities, echoing Hoa and Lan's mission. With each success story, Hoa and Lan felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They were not just sharing their knowledge but igniting a movement that transcended borders, cultures, and backgrounds. Together, they were fostering a sense of global solidarity in the fight for a sustainable future. Years passed, and their journey continued to evolve. The documentary garnered several awards, further elevating their profile as leaders in the sustainability movement. They were invited to participate in global discussions, contributing to policies aimed at addressing climate change and advocating for community-driven solutions. One evening, as they prepared for another speaking engagement, Lan turned to Hoa. "Can you believe how far we've come? It feels like just yesterday we were two girls in school trying to find our place." Hoa smiled, her heart full. "I know. It's been an incredible journey, but what matters most is that we've made a difference. We've inspired so many people to take action, and that's what it's all about." With renewed determination, they stepped onto the stage, ready to share their vision for a sustainable future. They knew that the journey was ongoing, filled with challenges and triumphs, but together, they were committed to creating a world where everyone could thrive. As they stood in front of an audience eager to hear their story, Hoa and Lan felt a profound sense of purpose. Their journey was not just about them, it was about the countless individuals and communities they had inspired along the way. They were determined to continue fighting for a sustainable future, fostering collaboration and compassion, and reminding others that together, they could achieve remarkable things. As the years rolled on, Hoa and Lan's consultancy and platform became pivotal in the global movement for sustainability. They had established themselves not just as leaders but as trusted allies to communities facing environmental challenges. Their focus on empowering others resonated deeply, and their initiatives inspired many to take action. One of the most exciting developments came when they were invited to collaborate with a group of scientists and engineers working on cutting-edge renewable energy technology. This project aimed to develop affordable solar panels tailored for low-income households, providing clean energy solutions to communities in need. During the initial meeting, Lan spoke passionately about the importance of accessibility. It's crucial that we make renewable energy solutions available to everyone, especially those who are most affected by climate change, she emphasized. The team agreed, and they set to work, combining innovative technology with community needs. They conducted workshops to educate local residents about the benefits of solar energy, empowering them to advocate for clean energy solutions in their neighborhoods. This grassroots approach created a sense of ownership and engagement, laying the foundation for long-term success. As the pilot program launched, they saw firsthand the transformative impact of their efforts. Households that previously struggled with high energy costs began to thrive. With the savings from reduced energy bills, families were able to invest in education, health, and other critical needs. The program quickly gained attention, and soon, other communities expressed interest in implementing similar initiatives. Hoa and Lan organized a summit to share their findings, inviting community leaders, policymakers, and activists from across the country to discuss scaling up the project. At the summit, the atmosphere was electric. Hoa opened the floor with a compelling presentation showcasing the success stories from their pilot program. She highlighted the individuals whose lives had been transformed, emphasizing the importance of sustainable energy in fighting poverty and enhancing quality of life. After the presentation, the audience erupted in applause, and the discussions that followed were spirited and filled with optimism. Community leaders exchanged ideas on how to tailor the project to their unique contexts, and partnerships began to form. As the initiative spread, Hoa and Lan continued to provide support, sharing resources and best practices. They created toolkits that outlined the steps for implementing solar energy projects, ensuring that communities had the guidance they needed to succeed. One day, while working on outreach materials, Lan received an email from a community in a rural area that had been severely impacted by climate change. The email detailed how extreme weather had destroyed crops and disrupted livelihoods. They expressed interest in implementing sustainable farming practices, but they needed guidance and support. Moved by their situation, Hoa and Lan immediately organized a trip to the community. Upon arrival, they were greeted by local farmers eager to share their experiences and challenges. The farmers spoke of their desire to adapt but expressed uncertainty about how to proceed. Hoa listened attentively, taking notes as the farmers detailed their struggles. "We want to help you develop sustainable farming practices that can withstand climate change. Let's work together to find solutions that fit your needs," she reassured them. Over the next few days, Hoa and Lan facilitated workshops that combined traditional farming knowledge with modern sustainable practices. They introduced concepts like permaculture and agroforestry, emphasizing the importance of biodiversity and soil health. The farmers were enthusiastic, actively participating and sharing their insights. Together, they designed a plan that incorporated sustainable techniques while respecting local traditions. By the end of the workshops, the farmers felt empowered and inspired to implement the changes discussed. As they wrapped up their visit, one of the farmers approached Hoa. "Thank you for believing in us and our ability to change. It means the world," he said, his eyes shining with gratitude. Back home, Hoa and Lan reflected on the visit. "This is what it's all about," Hoa said, her voice filled with emotion. empowering communities to take control of their futures. With each new initiative, they felt a deepening commitment to their mission. They began organizing an annual conference dedicated to sustainable practices and community empowerment, drawing participants from around the world. The conference became a platform for sharing knowledge, inspiring collaboration, and showcasing successful projects. During the conference's inaugural year, they invited speakers from various backgrounds, activists, scientists, and community leaders, creating a rich tapestry of perspectives. Hoa and Lan's workshop on grassroots movements became a highlight, attracting participants eager to learn how to initiate change in their own communities. As they prepared for the second conference, Lan proposed adding a mentorship program for attendees. We should connect experienced advocates with newcomers who want to make a difference. It would help build a stronger network, she suggested. Hoa loved the idea. Yes. That way, we can foster relationships that will last beyond the conference and empower more people to take action. The mentorship program launched successfully, pairing experienced activists with those new to the sustainability movement. The bonds formed during the conference led to collaborations and initiatives that spanned across regions, amplifying their collective impact. Years later, as they reflected on their journey during the conference, they marveled at the connections and transformations that had occurred. Hoa stood at the podium, looking out at a sea of engaged faces. Together, we've created a movement that is changing lives, she began. Each of you is a vital part of this story. Remember that every action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger impact. The audience erupted in applause, a testament to the momentum they had built together. It was clear that they were not just advocating for change, they were nurturing a community of passionate individuals dedicated to sustainability. After the conference, they received a message from a nonprofit organization seeking their expertise for a global initiative focused on addressing climate justice. The organization wanted to work together to ensure that marginalized communities had access to resources and support in the face of climate change. Recognizing the importance of this collaboration, Hoa and Lan eagerly agreed. They organized a series of workshops to empower communities to voice their needs and advocate for equitable solutions. They worked closely with leaders from these communities, ensuring that their perspectives were central to the initiative. As they facilitated discussions, it became clear that many felt overlooked in larger environmental movements. Hoa emphasized, "It's essential that we amplify your voices. Your experiences and solutions are critical to creating sustainable change." Lan nodded in agreement. "We are here to support you in this journey. Together, we can ensure that everyone is included in the conversation about our planet's future." The initiative grew into a powerful coalition advocating for climate justice, raising awareness about the disproportionate impacts of climate change on marginalized communities. Together, they launched campaigns that demanded policy changes and resources to support vulnerable populations. Through their collective efforts, they began to see tangible results. Policymakers started to listen, and funds were allocated to support initiatives that prioritized the needs of affected communities. The coalition's work inspired other organizations to adopt similar approaches, spreading the message of inclusivity in the fight for sustainability. Reflecting on their journey, Hoa and Lan felt an overwhelming sense of accomplishment. They had built a network of advocates, empowered communities, and fostered collaboration across the globe. They knew that while challenges remained, the momentum they had created was undeniable. One evening, as they reminisced over dinner, Lan said, "Do you remember the first time we spoke at that small community meeting? It feels like a lifetime ago." Hoa laughed softly. "I do. I was so nervous. But we took that leap together, and look where it's led us. It's incredible to think about all the lives we've touched." Lan nodded, her eyes filled with warmth. "I wouldn't want to do this with anyone else. We've built something truly special." As they raised their glasses in a toast to friendship and resilience, they were reminded that their journey was far from over. With each passing day, new challenges emerged, but they were ready to face them together. They understood that the fight for sustainability required perseverance, creativity, and, most importantly, a commitment to uplifting others. As they continued to push boundaries, innovate, and inspire, Hoa and Lan stood firm in their belief that together, they could change the world, one community at a time. Their legacy would be one of hope, empowerment, and a relentless pursuit of a sustainable future for all. As the years unfolded, Hoa and Lan's impact on sustainability and community empowerment grew, reaching new heights. They were no longer just local leaders, they had become global ambassadors for environmental justice, recognized for their unwavering commitment to marginalized communities and sustainable practices. Their annual conferences attracted thousands of attendees, each eager to learn, share, and collaborate. The mentorship program flourished, creating a ripple effect that spread across continents. Participants returned home with newfound knowledge, determination, and the tools to make a difference in their own communities. One day, while reviewing feedback from the latest conference, Lan discovered a letter from a group of students in a remote village. They wrote about how inspired they were by the sessions and expressed their desire to start their own sustainability project. "We want to create a community garden that not only feeds us but also educates our youth about the environment," they wrote. Moved by their enthusiasm, Hoa and Lan decided to organize a virtual workshop specifically for them. They connected with local experts to provide guidance and resources tailored to the village's unique needs. During the workshop, the students shared their ideas and dreams, their passion palpable even through the screen. "Let's start by mapping out what we have," Lan encouraged. "What resources are available to you? What challenges do you face?" The students brainstormed enthusiastically, and as they spoke, Hoa and Lan felt a surge of inspiration. The energy in the virtual room was infectious. "You're already making a difference just by taking this step," Hoa said, smiling. "Believe in yourselves and your vision." Over the following weeks, the students worked diligently to bring their community garden to life. With guidance from Hoa and Lan and support from their community, they transformed a barren plot of land into a thriving garden filled with vegetables, herbs, and flowers. The project not only provided food but also served as an educational hub, where local children learned about sustainability and the importance of protecting their environment. The success of the garden attracted attention from nearby villages, inspiring others to start similar initiatives. Hoa and Lan documented this journey, capturing the stories of these young changemakers and their communities. They decided to feature the students in their next documentary, highlighting the power of youth in the sustainability movement. As the film took shape, they showcased not only the garden's development but also the students' growth as leaders. The documentary aimed to inspire other young people around the world, proving that age is not a barrier to making a meaningful impact. At the premiere, the audience was captivated by the students' stories. Their determination and creativity shone through, reminding everyone that the future of sustainability lay in the hands of the next generation. Hoa and Lan beamed with pride, knowing they had played a role in nurturing these young leaders. After the screening, the students received numerous invitations to share their experiences at conferences and events. They became ambassadors for their communities, sharing their journey and encouraging others to take action. Hoa and Lan watched as the students flourished, gaining confidence and forging connections that would last a lifetime. Meanwhile, the global coalition they had built continued to grow. They recognized the need for ongoing support, so they initiated a funding program to help grassroots organizations implement sustainable projects. This initiative aimed to ensure that communities facing the most significant challenges had access to resources and support. As applications flooded in from around the world, Hoa and Lan carefully reviewed each proposal, seeking projects that aligned with their mission of inclusivity and empowerment. They chose to support initiatives that prioritized local knowledge and engaged community members in decision-making processes. One project, in particular, caught their attention: a group of women in a rural area seeking to create a cooperative to produce and sell eco-friendly products. Hoa and Lan connected with the women, providing mentorship and resources to help them turn their vision into reality. During a visit to the cooperative, they were welcomed with open arms. The women shared their stories of resilience and determination, illustrating how they had overcome barriers to create a sustainable business model. Hoa and Lan offered guidance on marketing and distribution, helping them refine their strategies. Over the next few months, the cooperative flourished. With the support of Hoa and Lan, the women developed a brand that celebrated their local heritage while promoting eco-friendly practices. They attended markets and fairs, sharing their products and stories with a broader audience. As word spread about their success, the cooperative became a model for other communities. Hoa and Lan organized workshops, allowing the women to share their knowledge and inspire others to pursue similar ventures. The sense of empowerment and camaraderie among the women was palpable, and their success stories were shared widely. Meanwhile, Hoa and Lan continued to advocate for policy changes at a national level, ensuring that sustainable practices and community needs were prioritized. They collaborated with policymakers, sharing insights from their grassroots work and emphasizing the importance of inclusivity in environmental decision-making. Their tireless efforts began to yield results. New policies were enacted that provided funding for community-led sustainability projects, paving the way for further initiatives across the country. As they celebrated these victories, they remained grounded, recognizing that their work was far from finished. One day, while preparing for another speaking engagement, Lan reflected on their journey. "It's incredible to see how far we've come. From being the underdogs to now being recognized as leaders in this movement." Hoa smiled, her eyes shining with gratitude. "It's a testament to the power of community. Every step we took was fueled by the people we've worked with and the stories we've shared." As they took the stage that evening, they felt a renewed sense of purpose. Their message resonated with the audience, and they encouraged others to embrace their power to make a difference. "Change starts with you," Lan declared, her voice unwavering. "Together, we can create a sustainable future for generations to come." The audience erupted in applause, energized by their words. Hoa and Lan knew that as they moved forward, they would continue to uplift others, nurturing a global network of changemakers committed to sustainability. As the years continued to unfold, their partnership deepened. They expanded their initiatives, developed new programs, and forged connections with other organizations and activists. Their consultancy became a beacon of hope for communities worldwide, exemplifying the power of collaboration and compassion. During a reflective moment, Hoa turned to Lan and said, "We've built something incredible together, but I know we can achieve even more." Lan nodded, her determination evident. "Absolutely. There are still so many communities that need our support. Let's keep pushing boundaries and empowering others." With their hearts set on their mission, they embarked on a new chapter in their journey. Together, they were ready to tackle the challenges ahead, confident that their shared vision for a sustainable future would continue to inspire change around the world. As they looked toward the horizon, they knew that the best was yet to come. As Hoa and Lan approached the culmination of their journey, they reflected on the transformative impact they had made together. Their paths, once defined by hardship and adversity, had converged into a powerful force for good, inspiring countless individuals and communities around the globe. At their final conference together, the energy in the room was palpable. Attendees filled the seats, eager to hear from the women whose unwavering commitment had sparked a movement. Hoa stood at the podium, her voice steady and filled with emotion. "Today, we celebrate not just our achievements, but the collective power of every individual who has dared to dream of a sustainable future. Each of you is a vital part of this journey." Lan joined her, holding up a vibrant community garden kit created by one of the initiatives they had supported. "This represents hope, resilience, and the potential for change. Together, we've proven that no matter where we come from, we can create a brighter, greener future." As they shared stories of the lives they had touched, the audience erupted in applause, tears of joy and pride streaming down faces. It was a moment of unity, a testament to the strength of community and the power of shared vision. In that closing moment, Hoa and Lan announced the establishment of a foundation dedicated to continuing their work. "This foundation will ensure that the spirit of collaboration and empowerment lives on," Lan declared. "We will provide resources, mentorship, and support for future generations of changemakers." As they unveiled the foundation's mission, a wave of excitement swept through the audience. The commitment to sustainability and community engagement would carry forward, fueled by the passion of those they had inspired. In the days that followed, the foundation began its work, empowering youth, supporting grassroots initiatives, and amplifying the voices of those who had been historically marginalized. Hoa and Lan knew that their legacy would thrive through the actions of those they had inspired. As they looked toward the horizon, hand in hand, they understood that the journey was ongoing. Their story was just one thread in the larger tapestry of humanity's fight for sustainability and justice. Together, they had laid the groundwork, and now it was time for others to take up the mantle. With hearts full of hope, they stepped forward into the future, ready to embrace the challenges and triumphs that lay ahead. They knew that as long as they believed in the power of community, compassion, and collaboration, they could create a world where everyone could thrive, a world where sustainability was not just a goal but a way of life. And so, their legacy continued, woven into the hearts and actions of countless individuals dedicated to making a difference. Together, they had sparked a movement, and the journey toward a sustainable future would carry on, bright and unwavering, as new leaders emerged to carry the torch.